You might not notice it anymore. It sits at the bottom of your phone, along the side of your laptop, on your earbuds case, your power bank, your game controller, even your monitor. A small, oval-shaped port, easy to ignore until almost every new gadget seems to have one. That is USB-C. And in just a few years, it did something the tech industry rarely does. It made rival companies move toward the same standard. Before that, every device felt like it needed its own little key. One cable for your phone, another for your laptop, a different charger for your camera. So why did USB-C win? Was it truly better? Or did the world simply get tired of cable chaos? To understand that, we need to go back to the time before one drawer full of cables became normal. Let's get into it right here on Secrets of Simple Things. Before USB-C, every gadget had its own door. Before USB-C, charging a device was not always about finding a cable. It was about finding the right one. There was USB-A, the familiar rectangle that worked only one way up. Somehow, even after you flipped it, it still seemed wrong the first time. Then came micro USB, smaller and common on Android phones, headphones, speakers, cameras, and cheap accessories. It looked like progress until you tried plugging it in half asleep. The direction mattered. The connector could loosen. A cable might fit but still charge badly. Apple had Lightning. Many laptops had round-barrel chargers. Some cameras used mini USB. Other devices had ports that seemed made for one product and nothing else. Borrowing a charger became a small negotiation. Is it Apple? Android? Old or new? The problem was not only inconvenience. Each company was building its own little cable world. Every new device added another charger, another adapter, another piece of plastic to the pile. Technology was getting smarter, but the way we powered it still felt messy. So USB-C did not arrive as a flashy luxury. It arrived as an answer to an old frustration. Why did modern devices need so many different doors just to do basic things? USB-C is not just a better-shaped plug. At first glance, USB-C looks like a simple design fix. It is smaller than USB-A, sturdier than many older tiny connectors, and reversible. No flipping, no guessing. It just goes in. But the shape is only the surface. USB-C is first a physical connector. It describes the form of the port and plug, not every technology running through them. People often treat USB-C like a magic label. If the plug fits, they assume it must charge fast, move files quickly, and connect to a monitor. Not always. Performance depends on what the cable, port, and device support. Still, the shape made something important possible. Instead of separate openings for charging data and display output, USB-C could become one shared doorway. Power, files, and in the right setup, video could all travel through the same entrance. If easier plugging were the only benefit, USB-C would never have replaced so much of the cable world. Its real value was that one small port could start doing the work of several larger ones. One cable, many jobs. One port, one cable, more than one job. When the cable and device support the right standards, USB-C can charge earbuds, phones, tablets, and even laptops. That does not mean every USB-C charger can power every device well. It means manufacturers finally had a common shape through which smarter charging could happen. One of those systems is USB power delivery. Compatible chargers and devices can negotiate how much power is needed. Earbuds do not need laptop-level power. A laptop should not be fed like a tiny accessory. With the right setup, electricity can be adjusted instead of guessed. Then there is data. A supported USB-C connection can move photos, videos, backups, and large project files much faster than older basic cables. For someone editing video or moving files between drives, that difference is not just technical, it is time saved. And then comes display output. With DisplayPort Alt mode, or with the right adapter, USB-C can carry a video signal to a monitor or TV. That is why a modern laptop can run through one cable into a dock, while that single connection handles charging, a screen, storage, a keyboard, and sometimes even internet. For users, that means fewer cables. For tech companies, fewer ports to make room for. Why tech companies wanted fewer holes. USB-C was useful for users, but it was also extremely useful for the companies building the devices. A port is not just a hole in a machine. It takes up space. It needs wiring. It affects waterproofing, thickness, repair, and how the inside of a device is arranged. The port was tiny. The complexity it could remove was not. When one small connector could replace several older ports, manufacturers had a strong reason to care. A phone could look cleaner, a tablet could become thinner, a laptop could lose bulky charging ports and separate display outputs, then push more work through USB-C. That shift did not make every device better for every user. Some people still miss having more built-in ports, but from a production point of view, USB-C reduced friction. Fewer parts to source, fewer cable systems to maintain, fewer accessories to explain, and fewer confused customers. It also helped the accessory market. If more devices used the same connector, companies could make chargers, docks, hubs, displays, and cables for more products. Useful accessories became easier to find and, over time, easier to afford. For tech brands, USB-C was not just a convenience. It was a way to simplify hardware and production. But if USB-C only helped manufacturers, it could still have stayed trapped in another standards war. What pushed it beyond that was pressure from outside the tech industry. The world was tired of different chargers. By the time USB-C started spreading, users were already tired of drawers full of cables, tired of buying a new device and getting yet another charger, tired of asking, "Do you have a cable for this?" and watching someone hold up the wrong one. A charger is not supposed to be a puzzle. It is supposed to work. There was also a larger problem: waste. When every phone, tablet, speaker, camera, and accessory came with its own cable or charger, the result was more plastic, more metal, and more electronics that became useless the moment a device changed shape. This is where governments entered the story, especially the European Union. The EU pushed for a common charging standard to reduce electronic waste and make life easier for consumers. USB-C became the obvious candidate: compact, reversible, capable, and already widely adopted. The symbolic moment came when Apple, famous for controlling its own ecosystem, moved the iPhone from Lightning to USB-C. That change showed USB-C had crossed a line. It was no longer just another connector option. It had become the direction the market was moving. Tech companies did not suddenly fall in love with cooperation. USB-C won because users wanted less hassle, manufacturers wanted simpler hardware, and regulators wanted less waste. At this point, USB-C can sound like a perfect victory. But the very thing that makes it powerful, carrying different technologies through one shape, also creates its most confusing problem. The confusing part, hidden inside USB-C. Here is the strange twist. USB-C made cables look simpler, but it did not always make them easier to understand. Most people see the same oval plug and assume the same thing will happen every time. If it fits, it should work. If one USB-C cable charges a laptop, another one should too. If the port on a laptop looks right, surely it can connect to a monitor. But USB-C is only the shape of the doorway. What matters is what that doorway is wired to carry. Some USB-C cables are built mainly for basic charging. Others support fast charging and can safely handle more power. Some are designed for quick data transfer. Others are so basic that moving files through them feels painfully slow. And then there are cables that can carry video, letting a laptop connect to a monitor with a single line. The confusing part is that many of these cables look almost identical. You can pick up two USB-C cables from the same drawer, plug one into a monitor and get a clean display, then plug in the other and get nothing, no sparks, no warning, just silence. The shape fits, but the feature is missing. So the old confusion did not fully disappear. It moved. Before the problem was too many port shapes. Now the problem is too many hidden abilities inside the same shape. USB-C solved the chaos on the outside, but it has not completely solved the chaos on the inside. A simple way to avoid the USB-C trap. That is why the safest rule is simple. Do not judge a USB-C cable by its shape alone. If you want to charge a laptop, look for the power rating. If you need to move large files, check the data speed. If you want to connect a monitor, make sure the cable and port support video output. A good USB-C cable is not just the one that fits, it is the one that fits the job. USB-C won because everyone needed it. USB-C did not take over simply because it was a nicer charging port. It won because several problems finally pointed to the same solution. Users wanted fewer cables and less guessing. Manufacturers wanted cleaner designs. Accessory makers wanted one connector to build around. Regulators wanted less electronic waste. And modern devices needed a port that could handle more than power. That is why USB-C became so powerful as an idea. It gave phones, laptops, tablets, headphones, docks, monitors, and chargers a shared language, even if that language has a few confusing dialects. It also gave tech a shape that could improve inside without changing too quickly outside. The cable problem is not completely gone. But compared with the old world, where every device seemed to demand its own special connector, USB-C is a clear step forward. So the next time you plug a USB-C cable into your phone, remember, you are not just charging a battery. You are holding proof that tech only simplifies things when the old mess becomes too annoying to keep. And if a tiny port like this can hide such a big story, imagine how many other everyday objects are doing the same. If you enjoyed this journey through the simple things we use without thinking, subscribe to Secrets of Simple Things and join us for the next one.